If pop culture has taught me one thing, it's that the Statue of Liberty doesn't have the remotest chance of surviving the oncoming storm of natural disasters, man-made disasters, or alien invasions that are no doubt inevitable over the next 4 centuries. This window is beautiful, but where's the TV supposed to go? Look, if the future doesn't have TV, I'm not going to be there. Seriously, I want to have a job. Why has Blue Man Goop here evolved emotional ejaculation ducts above the eyes? I don't know whether it's a fear response or a sexual one, but either way, wouldn't you be less likely to survive if every time you got overstimulated, you couldn't even see where you were coming or going?
Let's just talk,
Hell,
please.
there's nothing to talk about.
Yes, there is.
Nothing
this
at all to
is a
talk about.
mistake. Just
I'm
give
done.
me 1 minute.
Defending your affair with I can explain this. Unless, of course, she plans on explaining whether this biological function was premature, right on time, or entirely decorative. No, I'm still not over that yet.
I have good news.
Victor Garber isn't talking about Rambaldi in this scene.
The USS Orville.
Roll Starmercials.
One of these mints.
Those are marbles.
I'm not sure which to send. That he thought that a marble was a mint, his pinpoint spitting accuracy, or the fact that Admiral Halsey keeps a gravy boat full of marbles on his desk. 3 cents it is.
This past year, the tardiness, the sloppiness. My God, you've been put on report for coming into work hungover 6 times.
I'm already questioning how much value the Planetary Union puts into the well-being of its people. These are all signs that Ed is going through a trauma of some sort, and his captain just put him on report and stalled his career? Look, I'm just saying that this isn't how Picard would have handled it.
I know Gordon has his issues, but we all know there's nobody who can drive a starship like him.
It's your ship, Captain Mercer.
Halsey doesn't have faith that Ed is ready to be captain, and yet he's still going to trust his judgment in picking an equally unstable and currently grounded pilot. Does the Admiral not like this ship? Did the crew beam his dog into space?
He's a badass fighter, but I gave him a really neat personality. Hey, dude, this is my buddy Ed.
Hey, Ed, nice to meet you. I'm Justin.
Wait, is this Seth MacFarlane show actually going to be funny? Anyone check Lucifer for frostbite on his pointy tail? Fine, I'll give the sin back, but if this happens again, I'm prepping for the apocalypse instead.
Hey, Justin, you got a ladybug on you.
Oh, neat.
Hollow victories. Why is this manifest in no discernible order? It's not ordered by rank, name, or position. All the names are just there. Why?
Wait, don't you guys have, like, super strength?
Soleil's gravitational pull is high compared to the planetary average, so yes.
Luckily for the audience, the Soleian predilection for exposition also seems to be higher than average.
Lieutenant, how old are you?
Asking inappropriate questions. Did he not just hear that she can crush him right in his dangly prejudices?
All right. Lieutenant Commander Bordas, our second officer.
There are lots of ways to do character exposition, but standing your cast all in a line and having your main character literally read off all their stats and character sheets as if he's just confirming things they both already know has got to be among the most sinful.
Your entire species is male, isn't it?
That is correct, sir.
So there's probably not a lot of arguments about leaving the toilet seat up and that kind of thing, right?
Seth MacFarlane leans on a tired gender cliche for a punchline cliche. Cliche.
Yeah, nobody was hurt, but 300 crates of authentic autumn squash were sucked into space.
Technically, if I've studied my data on this, things get blown into space from the atmosphere inside the ship. What sucks is that you don't know the difference.
Is there any word yet on a first officer?
I should have an update in a few hours. Sounds like you won't have to wait much longer.
And I'm not going to give you any details yet because boy, oh boy, do we have a big obvious surprise planned for the audience. Designing this stairway that leads to the damn command center in a way that's only wide enough for one person at a time. In fact, why does this place have stairs at all? Stairs should never be allowed in space. This spaceship porn drags on and on for so long, but somehow not long enough for it to become a funny commentary on the genre. You're supposed to also be parroting Star Trek, Seth, not just becoming it.
No. No.
What's the matter?
No.
No.
This is my ex-wife, who I have not seen since my divorce a year ago after I walked in on her banging a Retepsian.
Skip! And I swear, if this show continues with this marriage story and space drama, it's just going to keep getting skipped.
I know this isn't ideal, but she's the only qualified XO available.
Okay, I'm officially calling shenanigans on this staff shortage. Right now, there are over 7 billion humans. God knows what it'll be in the 2400s, but let's say it's only doubled to 14 billion. Out of those 14 billion, you can't find a few million that are willing to fill your fleet of 3,000 ships? And I'm not even counting any of the other species we've seen. This is a galactic contrivance.
Oh no, we're definitely talking about it.
At which point everyone stops talking about it.
Ed, I can't apologize.
A skip.
See you bang Papa Smurf in our bed.
That's Retepsist. Also, Papa Smurf is tiny, stout, and has a beard. Literally the only thing they have in common is that they're blue. At least go with a blue alien like Stitch or Tootsie or Rainbow Dash.
So
Where
many
it wasn't
times.
like an...
Admittedly, the designer of the Orville probably didn't have this exact situation in mind when putting the ship together, but there are any number of other reasons that the captain's office should be soundproofed. Captain Kirk taught us that one.
What happened between Ed?
Skip.
Man, you could cut the tension with a knife.
Do not make eye contact.
No need to worry. You guys are literally sitting 10 feet away from them. They easily heard your conversation. So not sure eye contact is your issue here. I have to ask, did they train this dog to continuously lick itself on command? And what is that command? Canilingus? Phytolatio?
Please come down to the surface. I will explain everything.
And so begins what feels like a 5-year mission's worth of come and take a look at this cliches, punctuated with, hey, isn't the future cool exposition, and an abundance of spaceship ogling. I'm beginning to think there's only a 25-minute episode in here padded out to 45 with melodrama and rejected Family Guy bits.
Is that one of your projects?
No, that's Dr. Jovic, our chief botanist.
And they're completely naked, which I'm totally fine with, but I do find it interesting how all the sentient alien life that chooses to wear clothing also all just happens to be the most humanoid ones. What a strange coincidence.
I couldn't tell you the real reason we needed a Union ship because I couldn't risk divulging the information over open communications.
Then shouldn't he have maintained the charade until they came to the planet with the intended supplies? Instead, he does exactly what he said he couldn't risk doing as soon as they arrived in orbit.
So, it's an anti-banana ray.
It's really interesting.
We need no longer fear the banana.
He literally just said,
Janice has been experimenting with temporal fields.
even you can put that together with the rapidly aging banana and figure out what's happening here. Quit being purposefully ignorant just to get off a mediocre joke. It's really not a good look.
Will you get arrested?
And Skip.
I've read about this hypothetical. Quantum field manipulation of the flow of time is theoretically possible.
Physician, geneticist, therapist, and quantum theorist. So essentially an expert in whatever the plot needs her to be an expert in. If she turns out to be an illegally augmented human in season 5 and Dr. Aronoff was in on it all along, I will not be amused.
You do realize this could also be used as a weapon.
All technology in the history of humanity ever.
Mercer to board us.
It's the 2400s and you're still communicating with a handheld walkie-talkie? That will be installed in our cyborg heads by the late 2200s and you know it.
Back off!
Okay, a couple of things here. A, shouldn't the super dangerous AG ray be encased in something to prevent any stray matter or a human head from being prematurely matured? And B, as horrifying as it would have been, shouldn't we be seeing 100 years worth of expressions rather than one long scream? I mean, from her head's perspective, everything is still happening in real time. This should have been maybe a few hours screaming, a couple hours of bargaining, and then back to screaming, at least. Spaceship, 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 spaceship. Spaceship, 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 spaceship. Excitement? Having a work environment with only these stools to sit on. For the love of Christopher Nolan, give your people some lumbar support. Why does shooting these door panels always result in the doors being permanently locked? Wouldn't it make more sense for the doors to automatically stay open once the thing that opens them can't open them anymore? Deactivating your helmets directly before a gunfight. And not reactivating them. Sure is sporting of both ships to agree to fight for a bit on a single plane instead of taking full advantage of the 360 degrees of maneuverability provided by space. Nobody gets cauterized by green pew-pews during this paddle through an open water feature. A water feature that is surrounded by the cinders of said pew-pews. Allowing the internal aesthetic of your 25th century shuttle to be influenced by 21st century Twitch streamers. All 5 of these trained officers somehow managed to miss the krill hiding around the corner of this tiny shuttle. Does no one on television have peripheral vision?
Give me the device.
But it all works out in the end because this krill thinks that diplomacy is the best use of his carefully acquired surprise advantage instead of shooting everyone in the back.
He's got a gun. We have something better.
What?
Seatbelts.
Ed risks having his plan overheard instead of just doing the plan. Nobody needed to know ahead of time what was happening. Surprises are exactly why we have seatbelts.
Even if I was the best helmsman in the galaxy, that's virtually impossible.
If you can hug the donkey, you can do this.
Because all it takes to turn the virtually impossible into a sure thing is a motivational pep talk.
Upper and middle engines are gone, Captain. I have failed you.
Ship's in one piece. Board us.
It is not.
Sorry, can you move like 2 steps to your right?
Ruining a perfect rule of thirds shot.
I just got out of a rough marriage and...
Interstellar skip.
I have an idea.
What is it?
Let's give them the device.
I know Kelly gets there eventually, but who pitches a plan by leading with its most outrageous element? She does this so that we can be surprised when the actual plan happens. Does she know we're watching? Wait, they're directly covering the ray by gluing the seed to the end of the device and it still works? This works? I know this is desperately trying to be a Star Trek tribute, but this Krill ship is one cloaking device and a pair of shoulder pads away from being a copyright infringement.
Happy Arbor Day.
Scene does not contain a captain's log pun. Also, you're just going to wipe out an entire ship with no thought of the lives lost? Is this something they have permission to do? Did Admiral Halsey give them a license to krill? Also, wood should not be stronger than space metal.
You were always better at solving my problems than I was.
Skip! 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 I said skip! What is it? The show broke my skip button!
The Enterprise. Show me the bridge of the Enterprise, you chattering piece of...
Is that it? It's not bad, right?
So say we all!
So what are you doing on a Union ship?
I am programmed in multiple techniques. A broad variety of pleasuring.
Is the parking brake on?
Why are we not funding this?
Round and round she goes!
Great kid! Don't get cocky!